we're we're gonna go ahead and entirely forget about what just happened there, lads. We're right back into the game, right back into it, and I am stuck spectating a single individual. That's not a very good place to start. Okay, this is bad. This is quite bad. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spectate it from the perspective of Bryant. Bryant, you and me are gonna get to know each other quite well, you main healer, you. Bryant coming up on his ultimate. The question is, when will he decide to use it? This is such an unfortunate angle to see this from. Bryant is going to see the rest of his team struggling so bad, decide that now is the time. Now is the time to pop this ultimate and try and salvage it for everyone else. Unfortunately, he will fall way too fast. We see the Reinhardt all the way back in the territory of the Soul team. Barrage comes out. This is insane, dude. Okay. Bryant coming back in, ready to help out his team once more. D.Va Bomb coming through. Won't manage to find anybody, though. Bryant doing his very best to keep the rest of his team alive as they now try and melt down Pocket. A lot of ultimates committed there, but they will certainly get the team wipe. I'm still fucking stuck on Bryant. Well, Bryant, if you wanted a time in the spotlight, here it is, buddy. Bryant coming up on his Coalescence. Coalescence charges so fast from Moira. Such a powerful, versatile ult. Necessary to keep these three tanks alive at the moment. Has the ultimate. The Reinhardt begins to charge in, knocks everyone back. Everything's starting to get a little bit hectic, and Bryant decides to use his ultimate as a bit more of an offense ability than a defense one. They're trying their very best to keep the rest of the team alive, and Hajmir will start to carry the fight, getting not only a DMAC, but also a kill onto Kigo. Good place to start. We see a Mei now. Not a bad idea whatsoever. We're going... Okay. Bryant, 22% to his ultimate. Now 33%. Very exciting. Slam comes through. Gets completely blocked. Wall goes up and wall goes down, just in time to allow Bossense to try and get off a quick pick with a charge. Bomb, right in the worst place possible for the side of Soul, but they somehow manage to survive it. They don't manage to survive the rest of the folly that befalls them in the end, though. Justin Shark trying to get out alive. He had quite a lot of charge there, but unfortunately for them, unfortunately for Soul, no one's going to be able to get out quite alive yet. Bryant going straight for the payload. He wants to try and stop and contest it for as long as he possibly can. He'll go down fast, much in the same as that Bossense did. Grav comes out, only manages to find the D.Va. They're not going to be able to find much off of this. The fact of the matter is that they just don't have the abilities in order to really salvage this at this point. 34 seconds still left on the clock for the lab team. Someone, please. I'm still just stuck on Bryant. You know what? Here's the thing. I said it before. In that I do a generally bad job of noticing when a healer is good, or noticing when a healer is particularly doing a lot, or a main healer. But you know, the fact of the matter is that as a whole, even if I'm pretty bad at doing that, at the very least, now I can try and practice that a little bit better. You know? We see Bryant over here, standing still. We can see him thinking about what to do next. probably talking with the rest of his team. We know that Bryant is a team leader. We actually don't know that, but I'm going to assume. We assume that Bryant is a team leader, really top of the ladder. So if there was anyone that we could be stuck to, it might as well be the most important member of the Soul Squad. Bryant, going to be looking out for how can he best help his team in this situation, especially against that Pharah. A lot of burst damage is going to be coming out onto a lot of them. They have a very close, tight-knit composition, but they will find a lucky first pick onto Gil. That's a good place to start, but as they lose a pick themselves, they're going to be a little bit of nothing but trouble territory. Bryant trying to keep his team alive through thick and thin, doing a pretty good job of it. They see the Hanzo trying to run away, but Kigo will not survive that long. Bryant also taking it upon himself, trying to focus down that Pharah. Bryant now trying to capture the point here, basically all by himself. What an absolute monster. Ana's up top, just trying to do some chip damage, probably get the rest of her ultimate if she hasn't already. Bryant on fire, as we expect him to be. He's now deciding now's the time, bit early I would say, to use this ultimate to try and keep the rest of his team alive. He saw them getting low and he wasn't having it. Lucio trying to keep the team alive as well and jamming out with his healing sound of music, but there's only so much that you're going to be able to do with music against not only a black hole but also a salvo of rockets and now a slam into the dirt. 3 ultimates used there from Lab. Question is it really worth it considering just how close the enemy team's spawn of Soul is? Bryant already halfway back to his ultimate. It's a pretty good place for him to be. Again, it's so important that you get this ultimate basically as fast as possible. But he can't really heal any of his teammates while they're purple like this. So right now he's kind of just basically spraying a lot of hot air. We see the Pharah up in the air and we know that D.Va is trying to take her out and manages to succeed. Not badly done, but D.Va will go down or at least lose her mech in exchange. Bryant, once again, has this ultimate. He has the ability to turn things around for his team in the event that he decides it's worth it. He might decide to do it right about now as he sees Justin going down. That's unfortunately a lot of Zarya's charge that he's going to lose after dying. We saw that he had quite a lot of strength going for him, and now that's all but deleted. They will manage to cap second, though, so it's going pretty well for Soul, still having 5 minutes left to go. Bryant holding on to this coalescence. He knows how important it's going to be, especially in this next fight. This next fight could decide the entire momentum of this game. Whether or not Soul caps with about 4 minutes left, or whether or not they might just possibly cap with 30 seconds remaining. Graviton Surge comes out, but Bryant and the Lucio ultimate are able to keep their team alive despite that. Bryant managing to expertly dodge the Earth Shatter. Really well done by him. Now the D.Va Bomb is going to be looking to find much of anything, but it just so happens to not connect. Bryant going way deep into enemy territory, kind of unfortunately going a little bit too far in the hope that he could save his Reinhardt, but there's only so much that you can do. I can't spectate anyone else. For anyone that's new here, I basically got kicked out of the game because I guess my internet hard crashed or something like that. So when I joined back in, I was stuck on Moira, but that's not going to stop the fact the rest of the game can still be casted. Boss Ends gets a really good shatter. That's enough to really let the rest of his team build off of it and get a lot done. Kashmir going in way too deep when he had way too little health, though. They're going to try and take out distance, and Bryant decides now's the time. When everyone else is already dead, might as well use my ultimate and keep everyone healed up when the start of the fight begins. Bryant's trying his very best, trying to avoid the freeze, but he has to go back in. He knows he wants to keep his teammates alive, but he isn't quite sure how to do it. The slam will come through, manages to take out Bryant. Our boy Bryant goes down, but his death is not in vain. A lot of space was created, and a lot of payload movement was recognized. Reinhardt stuck away from the rest of his team. It'll surprise me if he manages to live through this, but off of the back of Bryant, being Bryant, he manages to keep him alive. There's only so much that our man, myth, and legend can do, though, as the other squishies on his team will fall. Dakota doing a lot of damage and keeping things kind of equal, but Bossense still might fall here. He knows he doesn't have a lot of shield. We see the Widowmaker all the way in the back doing so much damage. I assume she's finally been spotted out, as now she's starting to try and attempt to run away. Manage will successfully do it. Bryant, once again, has this Coalescence. It's not a bad ultimate to get, and he seems to get it every other fight. Dakota Jones taking out a really important first pick here, and now Kigo has used his recall already. Bryant sees the rest of his team a little bit weak. Now's the time. Now's the time for Bryant to shine. Goes in with the Coalescence, but he's not just a support, he's also a damage dealer, baby. Manages to execute and kill distance as well. Sees Kigo, is going to slowly suck him down. The rest of his team will also help to finish off Dill Pickle. Now they have to deal with the fact that these ultimates are still coming in, and how exactly are they going to go about taking out these armored up, healed up targets? They're not quite dead yet, but that could change very quickly as they begin to fall. As Moira goes down, it's basically going to be kaput for everyone else as well.
When faced with a setback, we must challenge.
I would like to say, considering I am stuck spectating a Moira, I am doing a very good job. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Bryant coming up on this Coalescence again. Didn't he just have it last fight? You're damn right he did, but this is our Bryant for you. He gets this Coalescence every single time his team needs it. Not going to be able to heal his main tank as long as he's purple though, but now that that's gone, he decides now's the time. Go in, Bossense. I have your back, buddy boy. Unfortunately, he gets stuck. That's going to be all she wrote for Bryant. Probably only one push left remaining for his team to go back in and try and bring it all the way to the end.
There was a flaw in my approach.
Group up here. Group up here. Group up with me.
30 seconds.
Bryant proving just how important a good main healer can be in keeping a team stable. Bryant wants to try and escape from that grab, but he just can't quite figure out how to do it, and him and his co-healer will both fall. Only 12 seconds left remaining. It'll surprise me if anyone can even manage to touch at this point. They're going to be struggling quite a lot to get through the enemy lines. Only 4 seconds left to go. Can anyone even touch? If Bryant can't, then no one can. It's going to be a third map win for the lab team. Really well done. A lot of damage done just then, but really all of it was off of the back of Bryant being Bryant. No reverse sweep. Pepe hands. Just gonna go ahead and let Bryant know beforehand that I'm interviewing him after the game is over. Whoever is in charge, Pocket. Of course it's fucking Pocket. God damn it. Okay. Okay, I was gonna tell Pocket they need to make me spectate all, but he's already done it.
Traveling to Route 66.
Okay, we're good to go now. The adventures of Bryant have come to a close, but now it's going to be the adventures of Soul trying to get even a single map win this entire go-around. Now, if you're the lab team, you're pretty happy about this. You want to start getting not only just wins, but dominating wins in order to make up for all of the 4-0s that you've had so far. Or 0-4s that you've had so far. One from a completely legitimate game wherein they lost 4 maps in a row, and 2 from just having to forfeit from not having all of the teammates that they wanted be present. It'll be a side of Soul trying their absolute hardest. Just try and hold on this defense so that they can make it easy to win on attack. Bryant, relegated to mercy duty. You hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it. Dakota Jones practicing his submachine gunning. I guess because he knows that he can't hit sniper shots. That was good. That was a funny one. Anyway, Distance is going in on this Doomfist. Pretty strong hero in this current meta. Gets a lot of shielding. As long as he can just get in with a clean initial engage, and it'll be at least an attempt of one. He won't manage to actually connect any of his cooldowns, but being Doomfist, they come back really fast. Bit of a weird sort of cluster of a fight on the ground here. Dakota is a woman. Dakota's a girl. Okay. I didn't know. Dakota will come close to falling, but she manages to get away, and no progress being made for Lab this time around. Minute down on the clock, basically, and they're still getting staggered out here. For the love of God. Jots, you know what? Jots, go fuck yourself. Jots, there's a lot of people in this league. A lot of motherfuckers in this league. Some of them are women, but most of them are not. So I'm going to assume that all of them are men until told otherwise. Boston's trying his very hardest to get this last vestiges of his shatter, but he's just not able to do it before he falls. Dakota loses duel to Kigo. That's basically all falling apart now for the side of Soul. Such a strong initial defense, but it's all over now. Bossense is in pretty good position now. He's pretty close to the shatter, and considering that the only thing that can block it is Unit Saber's bubble, it's going to be pretty easy to get an at least half decent one. Bossense with a little bit of protection from this dragon. It's going to be a little bit hidden from the enemy side. Really weak on the barrier though, and he needs to decide when to use this shatter, if to use it at all, because he wants to find something real fast. He sees 2 on the floor, pins into pocket, but someone has to contest this point, and if no one does it, it's all going to be for nothing. That it is. Bossense tries his very hardest, but wasn't able to connect onto the point. Tries to connect onto Unit Saber, but still not managing to pull that off either. Bossense wants to try and run away, but he's in so deep in enemy territory that it's basically all over for him. His team is going to have to wait for him to return. However, the side of Lab doesn't want to wait for him to return. They want to push in off of this numbers advantage that they have, at least until Distance falls. Even still, they don't need Distance. Distance isn't a real Lab member. They're happy with their team right now, so they're still poking and prodding at the enemy side. They see Hajmir up top. They know he's gonna have the ability to do a lot of damage if left unchecked, so they basically try and push him out. The only person who will really fall here is Bryant. Rest in peace, Bryant. Sees the Widowmaker up top, Hajmir does, and wants to go in for an up-close and personal duel. He's gonna fall, though, if he's not a little bit more effective here, and Kigo will eventually take him out. Kigo still doing even more damage up here. Eventually, we'll get spotted out by that D.Va, but the damage has been done. We've said she's a lady like several times. We'll say it several more. I have poor memory. And I know like 3 people named Dakota, and all of them are guys. So what do you want from me? Boston still has his ultimate. He's going to be hoping to find a really successful shatter here. They need to stop the bleeding. There's been 4 minutes left on the clock here. How did Kigo hit that shot? How? He just dropped right in the millisecond before the Rhine shield went up and domed the enemy. Kigo's still looking to do quite a lot of damage here as long as he gets the opportunity. Will help with the machine gunning down of that Reinhardt. Bossen's is still struggling to really find much value here, even though he has this ultimate, which should be all that he needs to at least help his team secure a fight win. It's still just a little bit too much for him to really deal with so far. Pocket will be demech'd. Dakota will try and clear the point with his Death Blossom. Hajmir, meanwhile, still in this back line, still trying to do as much damage as he can, but there's only so much that you can do here. Rest of his team has fallen. Boston's, please, you have to find something. And finally, he manages to connect it onto 3, but there's no follow-up because there's no one still alive anymore. Now it's on Kigo, still just trying to take people out before they even get a chance to recontest. And it's just to basically take out Hajmir all by himself. One-shots Bryant. Goes for another kill onto Hajmir yet again. D.Va Bomb will catch him off. They're going to need a lot more than that. Soul still managing to hold on here. They can't see 9. Even though it's so very close to them being able to hold here, it's still a struggle against what the opposing side is running. Dill Pickle bringing out the attack Mercy, but was that really the right call in that situation here? I don't even know what's going on anymore. It's just a mess. It's just a mess of distance. Getting kills, someone will get 3 kills and they'll die, and somehow everyone will respawn back in. Purely an absolute mess here, but the numbers are still going in favor of the side of Soul. This is still their defense in the lead here as Hajmir finally comes alive and finds 3. He'll die himself, as I said. They seem to find 3 and then immediately go down. But unless Kigo somehow manages to really find an entire team's worth of players, this should basically be a defense that requires the side of Lab to, go and group back up. Hajmir going so weak as Kigo almost executes him with that headshot, and Bossen's now coming in on the monkey. He manages to get rid of Gilgamesh, but not before he falls himself, or not get his ultimate before he falls himself. Dakota in a bit of a sniper duel here. It's not necessarily the best thing for her to be doing right now. Hajmir will win the duel versus distance. Pretty good place for them to be in. There's been this fight has gone on for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes, it's just been constant fighting. No regroups. No idea of what a tactical push is. It's just her Death Blossom. Shut the fuck up. The fight's been going on for 2 minutes now. No real progress has been made. No real grouping up until just recently. And that leaves the side of Lab with only 30 seconds to remain. But as they get the first pick onto Bryant, the opportunity is still available to them. And finally, as they manage to not only get kills, but get kills quite quickly, this should be it. Kigo manages to find the Tracer. Kigo still looking for any more kills. This absolute psychopath seeming to get a kill almost every single time he gets up on this perch. Dinks the headshot onto the monkey, but decides he can't really go after it, so let his teammate finish the job. How is this still being contested? Oh my god. It gets to the end. He did just assume her gender. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did assume her gender. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Jesus Christ. I have no color caster to lean on. My brain already hurts from having casted so much and gotten so little sleep already. Chat is now turning on me because I made an entirely reasonable assumption. What an absolute mess. I'm done. Yeah, you know... Shut up. Shut up, Mohammed. Shut up. God. I stand with trivia. Thank you, Steve. Someone does at the very least. I don't know if we have like a character limit or something in our Twitch chat. I stand with Pocket. No, Drizzly. No. I don't know if we have like a character limit as to how much you can type in a message for the chat, but if someone could just like copy paste the I stand with Pocket meme, I'd be a big fan of that. I still really like that meme. In fact, I kind of like it even more now, considering that very few people do stand with Pocket at the moment. That's for another day. Anyway, Hajmir on this Bastion yet again. They want to give it another go around. He needs to get set up here, but first he wants to shoot directly into distances. Reflect. A lot of damage will be done there, but the res will erase all of the good that Distance managed to do. No real shield tank now for Hajmir as Justin Shark goes down. Pocket just leading his team to victory at the moment, now chasing after this Fari. Hajmir is still on the Bastion. They don't want to give up the idea of the Bastion just yet, but the payload is so deep in enemy territory, and they just weren't able to get a strong enough start that you have to wonder if it's even a possibility now. Hajmir is still just shooting into the reflect of Distance. Distance goes for this reflect every single time, and so far Hajmir just hasn't been able to figure out how to deal with it. He reflects into the Reinhardt, and now Distance will pull out the blade, wants to try and cut through the Bastion. So much health though, but with one slice he'll manage to find two, and finally a D-Mech. You hate to see it. Hajmir's decided, okay, Bastion didn't work. We might have given the enemy like 4 ultimates at this point. Time to swap onto the Tracer. Maybe things will go a little bit better for us this time around. Hajmir kind of poking around, wants to figure out where should I go here? Where am I best needed? Tries to one-clip the Mercy, doesn't quite get there though, and still chasing her in the back line. No one's really stopping him. At the same time, if he can't actually connect the shots, all he really is a little fly landing in our hearts. It's his very special Tracer style. I already made this joke once already this morning, so I'm making it again. A little special fly. It's the special way that Hajmir plays Tracer. Just zipping right around like a little fly before finally landing in our heart. As far as ultimates are coming here, Soul has 3, and Hajmir will hopefully find his yet eventually. But at the moment, they're just going to be probably looking to get some progress with this D.Va Bomb. It's a pretty normal strat to wait until the Orisa puts down a shield, and then to immediately throw out the Diva Bomb and try and land it behind, where they won't be able to reposition the shield. Diva Bomb manages to find Dill Pickle and a D-Mech onto Pocket at the very least, so that'll be some good progress made. They want to try and take out that Supercharger, but no one's going for it yet until finally Justin decides, okay, no one else is going to deal with it, then I will. Distance pulling out the blade, finds one, going for another, manages to at least dink the Mercy, but will not be able to finish her before he gets finished himself by Dakota. Dakota falling to Kigo. Kigo's now looking for a bit of an opportunity here. He sees Bryant so far away from the rest of his team. He's now just trying to do as much damage as possible. Again, just going after seemingly the exposed Link of the enemy side, doing a lot of damage that the rest of his team follows up on. Only 13 seconds remaining and still quite a lot of room to go here. Dakota, trying his hardest, manages to at least find one, but he'll die for that. And only 3 seconds left remaining. Someone does manage to at least begin the contest. And now it's all going to come down to just how well, in this desperate time, the side of Seoul managed to stand back up again. Bit of an awkwardly placed bomb manages to at least catch Gil out. Numbers aren't necessarily not going in favor for Seoul here. In fact, I would say this is actually looking pretty good for them. This might be the opportunity that they've been waiting for to actually finish up the capture first, get a little bit more time in the bank, and stop that overtime clock from running down. Yeah, with distance going down basically immediately, and now the rest of the team still just trying their hardest to even get back onto the point. At this point, any more contests would really just be a big feed for the Seoul machine. It looks like that's what they're deciding to go for here. Seoul now just doing their best to clean off the pest and finally cap first. Two and a half minutes after capping first, they're going to want to try and capture this second streets phase very quickly, because if they don't, they're going to be in quite a lot of trouble. Even if they do manage to get it to third, if they only get there in overtime, and only get around about a minute and a half, things are not going to be looking too well for them. Distance now kind of trying to poke around after this Tracer, but the recall will come through. Bryant is the first to fall, and now both Mercies are down, but one side has lost one more healer than the other. Distance pulls out the blade, manages to find one. He's chasing after another. We'll get the insta D-Mech. Now wants to secure the kill onto someone else, but they've caught on to his games. They don't want to shoot into the deflect for at least that long. Distance now just harassing the enemy, just standing right straight in their face. Kigo has this dragon. If he just knew where the enemy was and knew they could basically get them in the pigeonhole, it's not a bad place to start from. It basically zones out so many of the enemy team, even if it doesn't get the kill onto them. Or even with them being so spread out and away from each other, as Bryant just falls. Even with them being so spread out and far away from each other, it's still not going to be enough by the looks of it. Distance still just trying to pick off as much damage as he can and get this blade yet again. Hajmir now going in. He could go the kill here, and he manages to find it even without using his bomb. Now in a bit of a duel with the Hanzo. It's a little bit of a tricky thing if you're a Tracer. You can lose quite easily if you're too predictable in your movement. But Hajmir manages to win it out with only 10 health remaining before finally getting a little bit healed up right there. Distance going in with this blade. He gets stunned, but the stun won't stop him from finding Bryant. Deflect tries to come through and do as much damage as it can, but the Diva Bomb is in a little bit of an awkward position at the moment. 8 seconds left to go here. Even if they do cap, there's going to be another overtime one for the side of Seoul. They gotta do whatever they possibly can here, but that bomb is in a really bad place and manages to find Hajmir. Hajmir gets rezzed back up anyway, so it's still a fairly even fight. Now it's just a matter of who can focus down the enemy better. Distance pulls out another blade yet again. He's going to try and bring things back into his team's favor. Doesn't actually manage to do any lethal damage, but he's still going to be hoping that it was enough to put things back in his team's favor. The Lucio ultimate will come through, keeping the side of LAB a little bit alive a little bit longer. This fight is just slowly moving more and more in favor of the LAB with each passing turn. It's basically impossible for the side of Soul to bring this back here unless they manage to find a absolutely massive ultimate or an absolutely massive just luck usage. Another blade pulled out, and this will be it. Distance is assigned to put the kibosh on this reckless attempt from the enemy team to try and stand against him. He will stand tall on the payload. Side of the LAB wins 4 maps to 0.
Play of the game.
Well done from distance. And now we go into the interviews. G fucking G, my doggy. Of course it was a fun game to watch, Drizzly. I was casting it. Come on. Come on. We don't have to state the obvious here. So now it's just going to be a quick interview with someone from both sides. I would interview Distance, because clearly he did so well there, but he's not actually a part of the LAB, so I'm not going to do that. Interview West. I'm not going to fucking interview West. I'm actually going to go ahead and interview Kigo. Actually, no, not Kigo. I'm going to interview Unit Saber. I think Unit Saber did really well for that entire round. Pocket. No. No. I'm going to go ahead and interview Unit Saber because it is literally just that I think Unit Saber, as far as the actual LAB players went, did quite a lot for his team. So I want to get kind of his thoughts and opinions on that. It also helps that he is a main tank, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that he was in a lot of the team's action and calling. And in the event that he doesn't respond, I'm going to interview Pocket. Shut up. Now the question is whether or not our boy here will actually join. I don't know. This is technically his first game. There it is. Hello. Hello. Hey there. How's it going? I'm good. Do me a favor. Check your party settings and make sure that you're allowed to share your voice on a stream. You go party settings. I think it's like privacy settings in the party settings, and it should just be, either allow for this party or allow for all of them, either or.
Always allow. Yeah, I just did that. Yep.
All right, there you go. So this is to my knowledge your first game in our little AHC community here. That is correct?
Yes, it's actually my first ever organized game. I haven't done scrims, I haven't done bugs before, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah, well, you guys managed to win your first round pretty handily, so that's certainly a good start for you guys. What do you think you did so well this time around?
Right. On Volskaya, we had really good supports that kept us alive. I was primarily playing Reinhardt, and I know I was playing really aggro sometimes, really dumb, and our Mercy and our Moira or our Ana, whatever our main supports were playing, were really popping off. And then Kigo especially was getting some crucial picks and also playing really good support as Brigitte. So we were just able to take that momentum, and even after we got steamrolled, second point, kudos to Seoul. They played a really competitive match throughout. We were still able to stand strong. No one got tilted. Everyone kept communicating, and we just had the confidence level high. So, building off that.
So you guys think this is all on our supports. They were the backbone of our team here. Without them, we couldn't have done nearly as well as we did.
Oh, 100%. Especially from my perspective as the main tank, I felt very enabled, and I was able to really go forward and play as aggressive as I was because I knew that our main healer was going to heal me, and then our flex healer was going to Discord whoever, sleep whoever, stun whoever. So it was really great, and we were able to push because of that.
So it sounds like, despite this being your first game really together as a team, and for as far as I'm aware, about half of your team's first game in the HC at all, you guys had a surprisingly good amount of synergy and trust in each other.
Yeah, it started off thanks to our team captain Pocket. He was able to call out the proper roles. He was saying we were all communicating well, and we just had like a really friendly, fun vibe. We were all kind of talking trash to each other at the same time while still playing.
Hmm.
And we always had like a plan when someone died and we needed to switch on to a different role. We were always like, hey, like if so and so dies, switch to this. If so and so dies, switch to that. So yeah, a lot of good synergy, a lot of really great teammates. I'm looking forward to the rest of the league.
Well, it sounds like a good start, and you guys are going to need that, as I'm sure you're aware your team is in an unfortunately bad position, mainly due to some bad roster moves that were made earlier in the season. So you do have quite a hole to dig yourselves out of.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we weren't able to come together as a group like this, but I feel like we'll be able to push past that. And honestly, it's a new season for all of us. It seems to be like a good time slot for most of our team. Unfortunately, some players won't be able to do the 4 p.m. slot, but even with the subs, I mean, shout out to Distance for being able to come on as a sub. I think we should be able to climb out of this hole. I mean, the league is competitive, and you never know week to week, but we're going to try our best.
Well, sounds good, and I'm looking forward to seeing the lab team, which is something that I really haven't been able to say this entire time because half the time you guys haven't even played. But this time
Right.
around, I think I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing how this team does. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see how you do in about 2 weeks from now. As next week, you unfortunately won't be able to play because of the playoffs, but weekend after that, you guys will have your next game. We'll see if you're able to keep this positive mental attitude moving forward.
Yeah, we're the PMA team, but we're also super toxic to each other, so it's all it's all good.
Perfect. All
All
right.
right, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, you too. Adios. Never make fun of LAB again. Shut up, Dill Pickle. Oh no. They're all in a party together. Why can't I invite him to one just because he's in one? God damn it, Bryant. Okay, time to ping the entirety of Seoul. All right. So now they're choosing to argue with me over what his actual name is. It really doesn't matter to me what his name is. All I care about is that he gets in the party. And he signed off. Okay. Well, that's certainly a fun way to go about doing that. You love to see that. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, now I just hope to interview somebody at the very least. Swearing in this Christian gaming channel? Question mark. Jesus. Hajmir. Okay, I'll interview Hajmir. Sure, works fine for me. Recent players. You and Sarah. Da, 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 da. None of those are Hajmir. Why aren't any of those Hajmir? There it is. Okay. Alright. I'll do it if no one else wants to. But, I mean, you don't have to sound so upset about it. Don't have to sound so upset about it. God, why do you... Can we please recognize... Can we please recognize that interviews happen after every game, and it would be nice if teams could be, like, ready for that, and be like, okay, let's wait and see who's gonna get interviewed. But instead we don't do that. Instead we say, why bother? Who cares? Alright, well, okay, friends. So no one on Soul wants to be interviewed. I was gonna interview Bryant, but he left. Hajmir is also not, like, appearing. So, so I guess no one from Soul this time around. Okay, that's fine. This was fun, I suppose. Anyway, goodbye.